Now that we have moved through 3 of the steps of the writing process, we are ready to move on to step 4. Step 4 is revising. This is a time for you to improve your work. You will be using some of the tips and suggestions that you've been given during your peer feedback to help you in this step, in addition to some of these options listed. Remember that a narrative reveals more about the writer's feelings and thoughts than his or her actions. So when reading your drafts, pay close attention. Is your essay full of listed actions, a series of events that take place throughout your story? If that's the case, that's okay. However, you do want to include what you were thinking and feeling as you were moving through those actions, through those series of events throughout your essay. So let's take a look at some of the options that you have to show improvement. First, focus less on action and more on feeling. So again, that goes back to showing what you were thinking and feeling as you were going through the different situations in your event. The second option is to box an adjective and describe what it looks like on you. So basically, when you describe the things that you were thinking and feeling, you should also describe what it looks like on you. So for example, my happy, my smile is going to show differently than someone else's. My smile tends to be a little wide and cheeky, where other people may have dimples when they smile. They may squint their eyes. That's just one example of how an emotion would look different on someone else. For an example, for sad, my sad is going to look different than someone else's. I tend to get a red nose and teary eyes, and it's something that you can clearly see visibly that I am sad. So when you go to describe what you were feeling, you would describe what it actually looks like on you. What would we see if we were to imagine that in our mental TVs? The third option is to select overused or dead words to change to higher level synonyms. We've been talking a little bit about word choice, and it's very important to have good high level words to express what it is that you're trying to say. Using generic or overused words can tend to be boring. This also gives you a chance to show your sophistication and your intelligence. Another option is to change the sequence of your essay, change the sequence of your story. You can do that by taking the last few sentences of your rough draft and using them to start your final copy. So you can change the order of things. And one way to do that, like I said, in changing the sequence, taking the last few sentences and making it your beginning, it kind of creates this flashback idea that you often see in stories and movies and TV shows. Another option is to add dialogue or conversation. So you would just include things that would be said from the characters in your story. And with that, you want to make sure that you do properly punctuate, adding your quotation marks and putting your punctuation inside those quotation marks. But that is also an option to show that conversation, that detail of things that were said during your event. Another option is to delete, delete, delete. Take out information that doesn't show what you were thinking and feeling, or maybe that is too much information. We also talked a little bit about fluff. And although sometimes we tend to want to add more to extend our story, we don't want to add fluff. We don't want to add something that is not necessary. So taking that out would also improve your essay. And lastly, take what is good and build on it. So ultimately, in that option, you are taking something that you started with and adding more details, adding more description. So we also talked about how descriptive writing is very important in all other types of writing, especially in this story, so that we can imagine what you were seeing, what you were hearing, taste, touch, and smelling. So keep all of those things in mind. Now, one of the things that I will be looking for is that you have shown growth from your first draft to your final, It should not look the same. They should not be the exact same copy, and they should not be too similar. And some ways to do that is by choosing at least 2 of these options from this list to show that you've improved. Now, if you don't have that proof, then there will be 10 points taken off. So do keep that in mind. And as always, if you have any questions, please reach out by email or Remind.